Many of today's biggest fashion houses, for example, Louis Vuitton, Hermès, Prada, Gucci, they didn't start with clothes at all. They began with leather, trunks, saddles, or handbags. And now you might wonder why afterwards they decided to walk down to the runway. In this episode, we'll explore how leather brands transformed into full fashion emperors and why ready-to-wear became their most powerful tool of storytelling. Hi everyone, welcome to Fashion Brief. So this episode I'd like to talk about the brands that we normally saw on the catwalk, but they don't necessarily start with fashion clothing. And so at the beginning, let's go back to the 19th century. Luxury means craftsmanship in that era. For example, Hermès made saddles for French aristocracy. Louis Vuitton built trucks for Europe's elite. And for Prada, they made fine bags in Milan. So they were artisans, but not fashion designers. And their reputation came from position, materials, timelessness, but not seasonal trends. By the late 20th century, the world had changed. Travel became faster, women entered the workforce, and luxury became global. Those old houses needed a new way to express their identity, not through object, but through style. So why did they move to fashion in the end? There are 5 reasons in my point of view. First, to build a maison universe. If you sell a bag, technically you sell a product. But if you sell fashion, this is a concept. So basically you sell a world, which means it's a lifestyle. It's a universe that the customer wants to live in. And that's the reason why for those brands, they have a more product-related focus now, also switch to the fashion world. It doesn't mean that they are not luxury at all, but on the other hand, they want to provide a wider perspective of their brand. So second, visibility. Runway shows are global events. And even if ready-to-wear isn't the biggest money maker, it's the loudest megaphone. And people don't remember a bag launch, but they will remember a fashion show. Third, to modernize heritage. Fashion allows old houses to say, our craft isn't stuck in the past, it evolves. And it's really important for a brand to constantly evolve, even if it's a luxury brand. They need to stick to their DNA, but it doesn't mean that they won't change over the course of the time. Fourth, diversification. So from a business perspective, if bags slow down, clothes still might be able to keep the brand alive. And every look on the runway sort of subtly reminds the consumers which bags to buy. And so this is important for brands to have a broader and complete product line in order to enable consumers to mix and match between different styles. And finally, the 5th reason, to attract creative talents. Top designers wants to build a world, wants to build a lifestyle, but not just design accessories. And so ready-to-wear gives them a artistic playground to explore the possibilities of the brand. So in my point of view, each leather houses should ask themselves, if our craftsmanship could walk down the runway, what would it wear? And so let's see how the iconic ones did it. Let's start with Louis Vuitton. So when Marc Jacobs joined in 1997, Louis Vuitton was known only for trucks and monograms. And he reinvented travel as a metaphor for exploration in terms of cultural, artistic, emotional perspective. Let's have a look at some examples. The monogram canvas became prints on dresses, and truck details inspires metallic closures and straps on jackets. And we can also see from collaborations with Steven Sprouse and Takashi Murakami turned heritage into pop art. So fashion became the runway version of a journey. very global, eclectic, and full with curiosity. So the next example, Hermès. It's a story from saddlery to silent luxury. And Hermès approached fashion as craft and motion. So between 1997 to 2003, under Martin Margiela, who he also created a luxury brand called Maison Margiela, the ready-to-wear became the purest expression of house's value, restraint, touch, and timelessness. So in a lot of details, you can realize that garments, for example, were cut with saddle maker precision, seams curved like leather harnesses. And the palette echoes horse tack and earth tones, camel, taupe, ivory. And also the materials, silk, cashmere, lambskin. This felt as noble as their leather goods. And so the result, luxury that whispers, is the perfect sentence for me to describe Hermès, because you recognize it by its feel, not its logo. And so the last example, Prada. It's a story about turning nylon bag into an intellectual fashion. Miuccia Prada did something revolutionary in 1988. She made industrial nylon desirable. The utilitarian spirit shaped her ready-to-wear spirit, blending intelligence, irony, and rebellion. And as we can see across the fashion shows, she played with ugly chic aesthetics. Brown, gray, technical fabrics are the classic look from the fashion show. Her collections asked, what is beauty? What is taste? We can always see that exploration in her collections. And she turned functionality into philosophy. And so from luggage to thinking luxury, in my point of view, Prada became the symbol of modern cerebral luxury. So in the fashion industry, it isn't just about making clothes, making bags, shoes, etc. It's an ecosystem. Every category plays a role. So for bags, in my point of view, it's definitely the financial engine. So for the brand who has IT bags, then it provides consistent revenue and also iconic status pieces. And on the other hand, ready-to-wear, this is the narrative engine. This provides storytelling, creates emotions, and shapes the brand's cultural image. For accessories, this is the styling bridge. This makes the whole look more complete and boosts cross-sales. For other lines, for example, fragrances, beauty, home, bring the brand into daily life and without diluting prestige to provide the accessibility. There was a previous episode about luxury brand extension. If you're interested, please find the link here. And so as you can see, when you're watching a brand's fashion show, it's not just about seeing the clothes. You're watching the branding strategy in motion. And the show itself, it's definitely the heartbeat, pumping energy and meaning into every bag, perfume, shoes that follows. So next time when you see Hermès coat, Louis Vuitton dress, remember, this is not just clothes. This is a new chapter of an old story. How leather, craftsmanship, and imagination evolved into a complete world of luxury. Hope you enjoyed this episode and see you next time.